Hi, so the U.S. historical figure I'll be talking about is Theodore Roosevelt. So we see Theodore get his degree in liberal arts from Harvard College in 1880. We then see we see his political career start to take off as he becomes a Republican to the New York State Assembly. Unfortunately, a couple years later, both his wife and mother pass away on the same day, so Roosevelt drops out of politics and lives on a ranch in the Dakota Territory. A couple years later, he moves back to Oyster Bay, New York, and he re enters into politics, where he sits on a couple New York City boards. He then enters into the Spanish American War, where he becomes a leader of a voluntary cavalry known as the Rough Riders and leads them into multiple battles, like the Battle of Santiago in Cuba. And because of his leadership, he became a national hero of the Spanish American War. Uh, Later that year, he became the mayor of New York. And then we see him become the vice president to President McKinley. In 1901, we see President McKinley get assassinated. So Roosevelt becomes our 26th president and is still the youngest president to hold office. In 1904, we kind of see him. This is where he does a lot more of his stuff, where we see him create the U.S. Forest Service. We see him play a crucial role in the construction of the Panama Canal after the French dropped it. And then he won a Nobel Peace Prize for negotiating an end to the Russo-Japanese War. He then goes on to run for the 1912 presidential election, where we see him have an assassination attempt in Milwaukee, Wisconsin by John Shrink. The bullet pierced through his eyeglass case and through his speech that he had in his pocket. Roosevelt shouted at the police at the time not to harm John. And Roosevelt went on to go give the speech the same day, where he said, "Friends, I shall ask you to be quiet as possible. I don't know whether you fully understand that I have been shot, but it takes more than that to kill a bull moose." So the bullet pierced. It got stuck in his chest, where it stayed till he died. Roosevelt then died in Oyster Bay at the age of 60, and then in 1927, the Mount Rushmore National Memorial decided that for the 150 years that he would be placed on Mount Rushmore.